A very good evening to you and welcome to Business Review. Well, times were tough for Eskom then. A day like today happened. Eskom issues exploded in the news today. The utility is facing crises at operational, financial and governance levels, and it was besieged by worsening problems on several fronts today. We are going to hear exclusively from the President, who spoke to reporter Vuyom shortly. First, let's look at the day's events. Now, it started when the price tag for load shedding was revealed. According to the Minister of Public Enterprises, load shedding costing our economy up to 80 billion rand a month. Lynne Brown was speaking to Parliament's Public Enterprises Committee. Ironically, Eskom then announced that load shedding would be implemented from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight due to constraints on the system. At the same time, accusations were flying in legal papers. Suspended Eskom CEO Sidiso Matona went to the Labour Court to challenge his suspension. His affidavit reportedly reveals bizarre behind-the-scenes details, such as a minister talking about the bugging of the boardroom before Matona was asked to leave a meeting. The suspension of Matona and 3 other executives were announced by the chairman, Zola Tsotsi, earlier this month. If that wasn't enough, Tsotsi himself came into the line of fire today. A board meeting was held to consider his removal, following reports that other members do not approve of these suspensions and have concerns about procurement procedures. All this happened while the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, answered questions about Eskom in the Council of Provinces and while workers downed tools at Madupi. What an incredible day for Eskom. It seems like the ante is being upped. Let's talk now to Vuyom, who spoke to the President earlier. And what did he have to say about Eskom? Was he quite willing to answer questions about Eskom today?
Well, to a very large extent, Francis, yes, he was actually prepared to answer. But of course, he also had a refrain of let's wait till investigation is investigations are completed and certain processes are followed and so on and so on. But one did get a sense of frustration at how things have turned out. And I began by actually asking him, saying, look, in February, when you delivered your State of the Nation address, you had this elaborate explanation about where things started, what went wrong, and the things that you're going to be doing about it. And he got praises, from everyone for really tackling that problem head on and for devoting so much time, energy, talking about that very issue. I said, but in just over a month, after that, there you are, suspending the CEO and 3 other executives. A very, very drastic move. I said, what happened? Did you think that you were lied to, or did you not know as much as you know today, or did something suddenly, happen? So I asked him like all those questions, and in fact, let me play a clip of what he actually said when I asked him exactly that.
It didn't seem that there is somebody who's looking at the time frames seriously, because I'm sure when the time frames were made, people were clear what they were talking about. That's one issue that I think people are not looking at. Otherwise, by now, would be getting out of the problem of load shedding. The very fact that it's not finishing, it means you are getting deeper into a problem. Secondly, as the load shedding was coming and people were beginning to put it in phrases, certainly an unusual thing, and I said this shortly after the State of the Nation address, you have power stations that are almost collapsing at the same time. If people remember, I said this is not normal. Why are they collapsing? Why would people say they've not been serviced? What have they been doing all the time?
It almost sounds like a bit of a conspiracy. He's confused about the timeline.
But you see, this is exactly the thing, because I got a sense, I could be wrong for what it's worth, that government or the executive is suddenly feeling that it was either lied to, or they didn't have the correct information, and but with whatever may have been the case, they are now very, very frustrated and probably embarrassed even. So they felt the need to act. Well, whether, of course, what they did to suspend, because I did ask even about the CEO, I said, but the guy has only been in the job for 6 months. He said, yes, you are right. However, the same guy had made promises to us, had said things to us which he didn't honor.
All right, there is a fallout now after those suspensions. Like you say, there was frustration, action taken. There is a fallout. Do you get a sense of how the president is feeling, that government really can get on top of this, or is it just spiraling out of control?
One gets a sense that it is spiraling out of control, and probably the worst is yet to come. Because if you go beyond that to then say, how do you then explain some of the allegations that have been leveled against the board chairperson? How do you explain some of the things that he has done? Because in all frankness, he hasn't handled himself particularly well on this one. He then turns around and say, look, that's exactly why we need more and more people to come forward with whatever information that they may have, so that we can even deal with this one. And if need be, if we need to deal with the chairperson, that's exactly what the government hopes it is going to do. But as things stand, I certainly didn't get a sense that the government was indeed on top of things.
Sure. Well, Cyril Ramaphosa was trying to calm the waters. We'll hear from him very quickly. When will the full interview play?
It's at 9 o'clock this evening.
All right, that interview with President Jacob Zuma.
Channel 4.
Thank you very much, and that'll be with Vuyo Mvoko.